What's up, guys? It's Christian here, back with another video, and today, me and my friend Patrick will be giving our 2019-20 NHL predictions by predicting what the playoff bracket will look like, and then filling out what we think it will look like, and giving our Stanley Cup champion. So, Patrick, first off, how are you doing today?
I'm doing decent, except for all the homework that teachers are giving us.
Same, bro. And then second off, what are you excited for this year and on that the new season is upon us?
Um, I'm pretty excited to be able to watch my Preds and my Capitals dominate the hockey rink.
See, that's the thing about me and you were just talking about this. The thing with the Preds is we both could see them doing as bad as missing the playoffs, but we could see them doing as good as winning the cup.
Yeah,
It's
problem. They're unpredictable, the most unpredictable NHL team in existence. Like besides the Blue Jackets, literally, like the hockey gods.
But the hockey guy said that he doesn't see this team missing the playoffs.
The hockey gods will decide upon us.
Yes, they will. All right, so do you want to do the East first or the West first?
We're going to start with the West because the East is more interesting and hard to pick.
All right, we're just going to give our standings first, and then we'll fill out our bracket. So we'll start in the Central Division. My Central Division champion is the Colorado Avalanche. I think they are poised for a great year with Nathan MacKinnon. Not much else I got to say. I think this team has pieces in place to make a deep run this year and seriously contend. Who is your Central Division champion?
I got the Blues just because they're going off the Stanley Cup win. They got fuel to the fires, so their team is gonna, I guess, still hold it together.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
All right, second in the Central, I have the defending Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. That is a team I seriously don't see missing the playoffs. I think they didn't really lose many key pieces off that team, so there's no reason why they won't make the playoffs for sure. So I got the Blues second in the Central. Who do you have second in the Central?
Second in the Central, I had the Avalanche because basically what he said, but
yeah, basically what I said. Just we both like those two teams. We just have them reversed. Third in the Central, I have your Nashville Predators, mainly because it's like we were just talking about. This team is very unpredictable. We have no idea what's going to happen with this team this year. They could do as good as, like I said, they could do as good as winning the Cup, and they could do as bad as missing the playoffs. So I just stuck them in there at third in the Central. Who do you have third in the Central?
Third in the Central, I got the Stars because they went pretty deep this year. They just couldn't hold it out, but they did pretty good this year. So we'll see how that goes. Wait, did they get eliminated in the third round or the second round?
Who, the Stars?
Yeah.
Second, because they lost to the Blues.
Oh, that's right. Well, they went deeper than everyone expected. So.
Yep. Okay. Who do you have winning the Pacific Division?
For the Pacific Division. Oh, I'm stupid. Alright, so I have the Sharks winning this Pacific Division championship title this year. Because, they went pretty good last year. They went to the conference finals for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I think they're poised for another good year.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's kind of hard to determine who's gonna be in there this early.
Yeah, so hockey, especially this early in the season, is impossible to predict. It's near impossible.
Yeah, you basically just have to go on what happened last.
It's basically just throwing darts.
Yeah.
First in the Pacific for me is the Calgary Flames again. Now, hopefully this year, I'm not sure what's going to happen this year in the playoffs, though. I think that's going to be the key to success for Calgary this year. Regular season, if they make the playoffs, the regular season does not matter what they do in the regular season if they make the playoffs this year, if you ask me. Calgary's got its playoff success for them this year, I think. So, hopefully Johnny Hockey can lead them to new heights. Who do you have second in the Pacific Division?
Second in the Pacific, I have the Flames. Calgary Flames is what you just said, but I think the Sharks are going to do better than them. So.
All right, I have second the Vegas Golden Knights. They didn't it's the same reason for a lot of these teams. They didn't really lose many key pieces. I just think this team, Marc-Andre Fleury has been one of the best goalies in the league for the last couple years. So I think he continues his great play and leads the Knights back into the playoffs for the third straight year and for their third year in existence. Who do you have third in the Pacific Division?
Third in the Pacific, I have the Los Angeles Kings because here in the preseason I saw some pretty good strength from them, the rookies. And I saw something, developing. I heard the goal horn a lot when I was up late watching hockey half my sleep. So I'm gonna roll with them, take chances, and we'll see what happens.
All right, who is your first wild card in the Western Conference?
My first wild card in the Western Conference, I have the Preds because we're unpredictable, and
basically the same reason I have us in third in the Central.
Make predictions where you think they might go.
My first wild card is the Winnipeg Jets. I think they could, if they get in that wild card spot, it doesn't matter where they are in the playoffs. Honestly, Patrick Laine, mainly. I heard rumors Dustin Byfuglien was thinking about retirement, and I'm not even kidding. But I don't see that happening though. Connor Hellebuck. They got a lot of good players there. Only reason that I have them as a wild card though is because the Central's stacked. So I think they're gonna make the playoffs regardless though. Who do you have as your second wild card?
Second wild card, I have I got the Chicago Blackhawks. For some reason, I feel a return from them. I don't know, it's just my head.
Just a feeling.
Yeah, like it's been a while since they've been in it. Really, it's been like what 3 years.
Something like that.
It's been since the 2017, so they're a pretty good team. They have Patrick Kane, so I feel a return to at least a wild card spot this year.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there's.
Didn't they get a good player from the draft?
I don't know.
I think for some reason I think they did. I saw some on Instagram, but we'll see.
All right. Time to go to the East. We just gave our West standings, so we'll come back to the West. Now we're going to the East to give our Eastern Conference standings. First place in the Atlantic Division, I have the defending Eastern Conference champion, Boston Bruins. Again, like I've said about a lot of these teams, they didn't really lose many key pieces. They're going to be out for revenge this year, obviously, after coming up that short of the Stanley Cup. I like the Bruins to win the Atlantic. Who do you have winning the Atlantic Division?
I have the Tampa Bay Lightning. But they have Kucherov, so I feel like he's the second best player rated in the NHL right now. So I feel like with him and with their great, other players, they're just gonna hold it together. I don't really know much about Tampa Bay. I don't like the team, but they're the best hockey team in the NHL right now. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Another first round sweep.
Mm-hmm. Second place in the Atlantic for me is the team he just said, the Tampa Bay Lightning. For basically the reasons he just said. I mean, Kucherov is a game changer for them. Another team that's going to be out for revenge this year, especially with Tampa Bay losing getting swept in the first round by what many people considered the best team in NHL history points wise. It was points wise. A lot of people thought it was like one of the best teams ever, and they get swept in the first round. So they're definitely going to be out for revenge. It kind of reminds me of the story where in college basketball, Virginia was the first 1 seed to get beat by 16 in UMBC, and then this year they come back and win the national championship. So maybe Tampa will win the Stanley Cup. You never know.
He's unpredictable.
Yep. All right. Who do you have third in the Atlantic?
Third in the Atlantic.
Or wait, did you say second?
Oh, I didn't say second.
Yeah, my bad.
So for second, I have the Boston Bruins, just because they're coming off a Stanley Cup final run, so they're going to be pretty strong in the core. They didn't lose. Did they even lose any players from that? They had lost one or two that weren't.
They didn't lose many. Did I? I didn't dream, or I didn't see Chara retiring, did I? Or Zdeno Chara's not retiring, right?
No, he's not. I don't think he is.
Okay. I thought I dreamed that. I must have dreamed that or something. Okay, third in the Atlantic, you have Toronto too, don't you?
Third in the Atlantic. Yeah, I got Toronto.
Yeah, we both have Toronto.
That happens every year, I swear.
Yeah, it seems like they will make the playoffs. You can count on them to at least make the playoffs. But Toronto's kind of a team like Calgary for me. If they make the playoffs, their success is not based on the regular season. It's based on how they do in the playoffs. They've lost in the first round however many years in a row it's been now. So that's what success is based on in Toronto now, is playoff success. Do you have anything you want to add on to that?
Just Toronto's Toronto. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to be unpredictable.
Hopefully, John Tavares will actually work for them this year. We don't need you. I'm kidding. All right. Who do you have winning the Metropolitan Division?
Metropolitan, I have the Washington Caps.
I also have the Capitals winning the Metro. I think that's the first division we've actually agreed on a division winner so far.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Caps, or do you want me to?
Well, you see, the Caps are my boys.
Ovechkin, TJ Oshie.
Got Kuznetsov with the cocaine.
Evgeny Kuznetsov, too.
We got Ovi.
That's honestly, the Caps are consistently a stacked team, so there's really no reason not to pick them, if you ask me. Yeah, tons of talent all over the ice. So Capitals in first in the Metro. Oh yeah, that's not even mentioning him. Yeah. Second in the Metropolitan Division, I actually have the New York Islanders in second. I think they continue off their momentum from last year after they swept the Penguins. And I actually think they make the playoffs again and finish second in the Metro behind the Capitals. Who do you have second in the Metro?
Second in the Metro, I have the Carolina Hurricanes because they went deep last year. And I feel, they out of nowhere went deep in the wild card spot. So I feel like they're going to take the energy from last year and turn it into some progress this year. Maybe make it to the final or something like that.
See, you and me are actually opposite on the Hurricanes. I actually don't even have them making the playoffs. I think getting swept by the Bruins is going to have the opposite effect on them. It's not going to motivate them. It's going to bring them down, and they're not going to have as much confidence as they did last year. They don't have their leader that they did last year in Justin Williams. So,
that's true, I guess.
But I can see them making the playoffs too. Third in the Metro, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins. Reason why, I as much as I hate them, you cannot count out Sidney Crosby.
Oh my God.
You cannot count out a Sidney Crosby-led team to miss the playoffs. They still got Evgeny Malkin. They still got they lost Phil Kessel, but Matt Murray in goal too. I don't see this team missing the playoffs. Who do you have as in third in the Metro?
I got the Rangers because they've made some bank trades. It wasn't a trade. It was a free agency.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Not trade. They made some amazing moves in free agency this year. And they got the draft, which they got Capo Caco. Is that his name? Yeah,
I think so.
It's like that or it's reverse.
It's either Capo, or Capo.
I think it's Caco, like Capo.
Oh well.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, for sure. My first wild card is the New Jersey Devils. Overnight, the New Jersey Devils went from one of the worst teams in the NHL to one of the best teams in the NHL. That is a team. The two New York area teams made some really big moves in the offseason. Jersey with trades and free agent signings and in the draft. So I have the Devils as my first wild card. Who do you have as your first wild card in the East?
So for the first wild card in the East, I have the New Jersey Devils, just like he does. But they got A lot of good players from free agency, especially what's his name? Guy's name. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that was a trade for PK Subban?
Yeah, the PK Subban trade and that one guy that won like number one overall rookie they got in the draft.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget his name.
I thought you were talking about Subban. Yeah, the day he got traded, we both wanted to kill ourselves. Okay, we weren't that bad about it, but
I was happy he's gone.
I'm not. But if it helps our power play and Duchesne is the thing for us, then I won't be opposed to it. My second wild card is the New York Rangers. I think they finally made some moves to get them back in the postseason. So, have the Rangers as my second wild card. Who do you have as your second wild card in the East?
Wild card. I have the Columbus Blue Jackets, and they're gonna be, just, they're gaining strength, but they lost Duchesne though, so, I don't. There's nothing else I could have put for here that would have made sense. So it's just kind of they lost a lot of good players, didn't they? Actually, so they lost like almost all their good players, if not all of them. So we'll see what happens. I don't really know what to expect. I think it's the only team I could put that I actually saw something from the last few years.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it's time to give our bracket predictions based on our standing predictions. So we'll go. I guess we'll go round by round. My one seed in the West is Colorado, and this is in the Central Division. This will be Colorado playing the number 2 wild card Dallas. I've got the. I don't know if I ever said that I had the Stars as my second wild card. I don't think I did. I don't think I ever said that I had the Stars as my second wild card. I apologize for that, but I had the Stars as my second wild card in the West because they already had a good team from last year. Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, all their main players, and they made some moves in the offseason to get Joe Pavelski. So I got the Stars as my second wild card, but in this matchup in the playoffs, I don't think it's going to matter. I got Colorado beating the Stars in the first round there. So, Patrick, who is your top of the bracket matchup in the West?
Top of the bracket. Okay, so I got Blues versus Blackhawks as the first matchup, and I'm gonna have the Blues come out on top on this one because that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. All right. My 2-3 matchup in the Central is St. Louis and Nashville with St. Louis with home ice. But I'm going with the Predators to beat the Blues in the first round there. I can honestly see that series going either way. I just took the Preds because, the Preds are my team. That's not why I took them, but it kind of helped, not going to lie. I didn't really know what to do there, so I just took the Preds to beat the Blues in the first round of the playoffs there in my bracket. Who's your 2-3 matchup in the Central?
It's the Avs versus the Stars. This is a really hard one, but I'm gonna pick the Avs.
All right. What am I doing? My words. There we go. My number 1 seed in the Pacific is Calgary. That's my second number 1 seed. Playing the number 1 wild card, the Winnipeg Jets. I did not like what I saw out of Calgary in the playoffs last year, so I think they actually get beat by a wild card again, and the Winnipeg Jets upset the Calgary Flames in the first round of the playoffs.
Alright.
What's your first matchup in the Pacific?
So I got Sharks versus the Preds. Well, Preds are wild card, Sharks are division champions. So I'd say it's hard because Sharks come out on top.
All right. My 2-3 matchup in the Pacific is a rematch of last year's series between the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks. Everyone knows that was one of the best series of the playoffs last year. And I have the Knights getting revenge here. That's a common theme you'll notice with my bracket. If there's any repeat series from last year, I've tend to have picked the team that didn't win the series last year. So I've got Vegas winning that series, and going on to the second round. What about you? What's your 2-3 matchup in the Pacific?
I got Flames versus Kings, and I got the Flames moving on to the Sharks.
All right. Like I said, we're going to do this round by round, so we'll go ahead and do the first round in the East. My number 1 seed in the Atlantic is at the top of the bracket. It's going to be the 1 seed in the Atlantic, the Boston Bruins, going up against the second wild card, the New York Rangers. I think the Rangers could potentially make that a competitive series, but at the end of the day, I'm going to end up going with the Bruins there to advance to the second round. Who is your 2-3 matchup in the Atlantic?
I got Tampa versus Columbus that game this previous year, and so I'm gonna have Tampa moving on because Columbus has no good players anymore.
Yeah, they did lose a lot in the offseason. My 2-3 matchup in the Atlantic is Tampa Bay and Toronto. I think that would be a really good series if it happened. I can't pick Toronto to advance anywhere in the playoffs until they actually do. I'm sorry, I just don't trust them. Not only that, I think Tampa Bay's a better team anyway. So I got Tampa Bay and Steven Stamkos and Kucherov and everyone advancing to beat the Maple Leafs in the first round. Go ahead. Who's your 2-3 matchup in the Atlantic?
2-3 is Boston and Toronto. Everyone has this. This is like a no-brainer. Happens every year. So I got Boston moving on.
All right. My 1 seed in the Metro is Washington, and they are playing the second wild card in the New Jersey Devils. I have the Washington Capitals moving on to the second round against the Devils. I think, once again, this is another thing. I think the Devils can make this competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if that series actually went 7 because I think that'd be a great series to watch. But I got the Caps moving on there. Who's your 1 seed matchup in the Metro?
So I have Caps versus New Jersey Devils, and I'm going to have the Caps beating the Devils because PK Subban's going to mess up the play.
That's a good reason. Good, very good reason.
He's going to literally just, do the worst.
He's going to hold left bumper and right bumper and just lay on the ice and do dive block.
Yeah, honestly.
My 2-3 matchup in the Metro is Islanders-Penguins. Again, another matchup from last year. This time I have the Penguins getting the better of the Islanders. I think they get revenge from that sweep that happened last year. I think the Penguins beat the Islanders and move on to the second round. Who's your 2-3 matchup in the Metro?
I got Rangers versus the Hurricanes. I'm going to go with Rangers because they're stacked.
All right. I love his definitive answers. All right. Second round, starting in the West. I have the Avalanche and the Predators. I think this is a series that could go back and forth.
Oh, God. It's 2018.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a rematch of 2018. But I think the Avalanche will beat the Predators in that series. I'm very high on the Avalanche. You will see that even more later. Wink, wink. Yeah, I'm very high on the Avalanche. So I got the Avs taking out our boys in the second round. What's your second round matchup?
Oh, God. It's going to get hard. I got Blues versus Avs. McKinnon is one of the best players in the league, so they're both really good. So I'm just going to put whoever has the better players. So we're just going to put Nathan McKinnon, so we're going to go Avs.
It's good. That's one thing that works sometimes, I don't know why I did that. My second round matchup is the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights. I had the Jets moving on to the Western Conference Final against the Avalanche. And I think the Jets are going to be a team that makes a run this year. You always have to at least put one team in there to make a run, especially in a hockey bracket. You have to at least put one team in there that makes a run, makes a little bit of a deep run. So my team for that is Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg upsets Vegas and goes on to the Western Conference Final. Who's your second round matchup in the West?
So my second matchup is the Sharks versus the Flames, and I got Sharks moving on.
All right. So, let's see. My second round matchup in the in the East is Boston and Tampa Bay again. And this time, I think the Tampa Bay Lightning will get the best of the Boston Bruins. I think they get an upset there and move on to the Western Conference Final. And who knows what they do from there. What's your first, second round matchup in the East?
I got Tampa Bay versus Boston, which is what you had, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just have Tampa. I just have Boston with home ice. You have Tampa.
Okay, so I'm gonna have. Let's go Boston. I'm gonna say Boston on this. It's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah. So you're going Boston.
Yeah.
All right. My second round matchup in the East is a matchup we've seen about 13 gazillion times. It's the Caps and the Penguins. And you know what? I think the Caps got that monkey off their back in 2018. So I got the Caps beating the Penguins again. And I think that will set up a rematch of the 2018 Eastern Conference Final between the Lightning and the Capitals. Who is your second round matchup in the East?
It's going to be the Washington Capitals versus the New York Rangers, and I'm going to have the Rangers moving on.
Wow. High on the Rangers, got them in the Eastern Conference Final.
Oh, heck yes. Rangers.
It's funny to me how this bracket works, how this is how different ours are. I have Bruins Rangers as a first round matchup, and you have it as your East Final.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right, conference finals, ladies and gentlemen. It's starting to get good now. My Western Conference Final is the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets. Now, obviously, it'd be a huge upset if the Jets beat the Avalanche here. I don't see it happening, though. I have the Colorado Avalanche advancing to their first Stanley Cup final since, I think, 05, if I'm not mistaken, or 06. But either way, first time in a long time, I think the Colorado Avalanche get back to the Stanley Cup final, and they beat the Winnipeg Jets in the Western Conference Final. What's your West Final?
My West Final is going to be the Avalanche versus the Sharks, and this is really hard. It's as hard as it gets, but I'm going to have Avs coming out on top because it's hard, but it's also a no-brainer. So we're just going to go with Avs.
We're both high on the Avs this year, aren't we?
Yeah, high stakes on the Avalanche.
All right. My Eastern Conference Final is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rematch of the 2018 Eastern Conference Final, but in 2020, Tampa Bay takes it. I think Tampa Bay, they won't have home ice, but I think they'll find a way to get it done, and they will beat the Capitals in the Eastern Conference Final, which will set up a Avalanche Lightning Stanley Cup Final. What's your East Final?
My East Final is Boston Bruins versus the New York Rangers. And so I'm going to have the Rangers going on top.
Wow.
High stakes on the Rangers this year. Let's see how it goes.
So your Stanley Cup Final is Avalanche Rangers?
Yep.
Wow. That would be pretty crazy if a team that didn't make the playoffs last year got all the way to the Cup Final. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Stanley Cup Final, ladies and gentlemen. Presented by Geico. No, I'm just kidding. My Stanley Cup Final. Colorado Avalanche, Tampa Bay Lightning. If it goes like my bracket says it will, Colorado will have home ice. I think that helps them. Nathan McKinnon makes some plays. Of course, I'm forgetting all their names now. And guess what? The former Pred Colin Wilson scores as the Stanley Cup Finals MVP. Wait, no, it's Stanley Cup Playoffs MVP. Shoot. He's not going to win the Conn Smythe. But anyway, I was thinking Super Bowl. My bad. But either way, I have my 2020 Stanley Cup Final prediction is the Colorado Avalanche beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. What's your Cup Final prediction?
So I got the Avs versus the Rangers, so I'm going to go with the Avalanche on this one.
So you also have the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I got the Avs, dude.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
Basically, you said. I mean, they have Nathan McKinnon. I mean, that's all you need. you know.
And they have other pieces. We're just idiots and we're forgetting all their names.
Yeah, it's not hockey season yet. I'm trying to. I don't know everybody.
Yeah. Our brains are still in other sports modes.
Yeah, come back to me in 2 weeks, and I can name you like a whole roster of players.
Here's what. Well, congratulations to the Avalanche. You will now miss the playoffs. We're sorry. We don't know what we. We're just making predictions. We're sorry that we ruined it for you. I'm gonna throw this at the
If
paper.
you're an Avs fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you're an Avs fan, we're sorry. But
It's something else that I'd like to put on my bracket, because this year the Predators and the Stars will be meeting on January 1st at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. And we'll be playing in the Winter Classic. And just to go with the predictions, we might as well predict the Winter Classic. So at the top of my bracket here, I have Preds versus Stars, and we're going to pick a winner. So I got the Preds coming out on top. And we're going to win our first Winter Classic.
What he said, but the jersey is ugly as crap. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Would you like to say anything to sign off, Patrick?
Go Preds and go Caps.
Alright, you heard it there first. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hockey is back, baby. Hope you guys enjoy the season. Thanks for watching.